Welcome. The, our presentation is on the topic of the internet. The following presentation was created by Andrew Hoagland, Caitlin Taylor, and Alexander Krajic.
Thesis: The Internet is full of possibilities and has endless uses. Some of those uses are not always in the best intentions for most people, such as cybercrimes and hacking. Even though there are many things on the Internet that are not great, I think, with some caution and proper understanding, this is a great tool for sending and receiving information quickly.
An overview of this presentation includes discussion about the subtopics of the history of the internet, the pros of the internet, the cons of the internet, a summary of the topics, and our works cited. The history of the internet discusses the early beginnings of the internet when it was originally used for the government. Topics discussed in the pros of the internet are shopping, banking, and news. Topics discussed in the cons of the internet are cybercrime, cyberbullying, and issues with social media. Our summary is our conclusions of the topic overall. Lastly, the work cited is all of the articles and texts we used as references.
Before we get into more about the history, I first wanted to touch base on what is the internet. The internet is essentially networking. The internet delivers information to you in the form of packets. When you request this information from a website like Google, millions of packets are sent across a network of cables and delivered right to your computer or cellular phone by the form of radio waves or pulses of light. The internet has many forms in which it is used. It allows us to email, video chat, social media, play games, shop, and bank or trade. The network can be easily described as many roads and highways that intersect and connect everything and everyone together, kind of like in the picture there to our right. And just a little side note there, just like roads, your internet can be slowed by traffic jams. So the busier the streets are, the slower the cars will move, similar to your networking and how fast your internet can deliver information to your computer. If the internet is being bogged down, there's a good chance that there's a lot of people online trying to send and receive packets at the same time you are.
History of the Internet, the beginning. In 1957, Soviet Union launched the first successful satellite in space orbiting Earth, known as Sputnik. The Advanced Research Projects Agency was created in 1958. The Internet started the ARPA project called ARPANET. It was designed as a communication system that had multiple pathways that information could travel, so losing one part would not disable the entire system. In the 1960s, the ARPANET took 10 years to develop. History of the Internet, the 1960s. The 1950s brought about the origin of the Internet, but in the decades to follow, there was an explosion of development and utility for this innovative invention. The original ARPANET had four locations called nodes. Locations of the nodes were at University of California at Los Angeles, Stanford Research Institute, University of Utah in Salt Lake City, and the University of California, Santa Barbara. The downfall of the ARPANET at this time is that it was significantly limited to these four locations and was not used by anyone outside of the government or these schools. History of the Internet from the late 1970s through the late 1980s. The 1970s was another decade full of change and advancement. The 1970s was also a time in which the network was used by other locations outside of the four nodes. In 1979, the National Science Foundation, or NSF, created the Computer Science Network, or CSNet, to connect the university computer science departments. This was created using the ARPANET technology. The 1980s also meant expansion for this network. Not only did the network grow, but also the academic disciplines using it diversified. In the mid-1980s, the NSF created NSF-Net, which allowed other academic disciplines access to computer networking. The NSF-Net became the primary backbone of the Internet. History of the Internet, the 1990s. The 1990s was a time when the Internet became more mainstream. A computer programmer in Switzerland named Tim Berners-Lee introduced the World Wide Web in 1991. In 1993, CERN declared the World Wide Web protocol and code free to all. CERN is the European Organization for Nuclear Research. In 1995, the NSF decommissioned the NSF backbone. The Internet backbone was then privatized. People were using the Internet for everyday use: information, email, shopping. While it was still not quite the Internet and web we know today, it was groundbreaking at the time. History of the Internet, 2000s. By the 2000s, the Internet was being used by a large percentage of people. Ways the Internet's popularity had exploded in the new millennium. In 2007, 36% of Americans consulted Wikipedia. In 2008, Google's index of the web consisted of 1 trillion unique URLs. By mid-2014, the number of Internet users reached 3 billion. In late 2014, 23% of respondents to a Pew Online survey knew that the Internet and the World Wide Web do not refer to the same thing. While these numbers and figures may seem small and somewhat outdated, it is important to know that at this time, each of these facts was groundbreaking, just like every leap in technology that occurs today.
Hi, this is Caitlin. My section of the PowerPoint was to do the cons of the internet. So the internet plays a huge role in our everyday lives, obviously. It's one of the biggest ways we communicate, the way we do business, the way we educate, the way we entertain, and also the way we shop. But as you know, nothing comes with only benefits. Everything has got its negatives at some point. And so does the internet.
Online shopping, or otherwise known as e-commerce, has grown and will continue to grow. Sales modules predict that U.S. sales online will surpass over 500 billion this year, and by the year 2022, it will be over 700 billion. Shopping has never been more easy. You can browse several stores right from your desktop, and you don't even have to wait in long lines at the store or fight with traffic in your vehicle. Along with shopping is a better informed shopper. The internet has allowed for people to voice their opinions about products, and with that we are better informed if we're buying a good deal or just buying junk. This usually comes in the form of reviews. Many good shoppers will leave, a good review if their service was excellent, or a bad review if it was terrible. And with that, businesses are reliant on your reviews to help them boost their business.
Another con to the internet, or a disadvantage to the internet, can also be online shopping. A lot of people buy their groceries online now. They Christmas shop online now, because it's just that much easier to just buy it online and have it shipped to your house. Because of this, a lot of people impulse shop. They spend money they don't have, and this can become a huge problem for the consumer. Online shopping, also like online banking, you're putting your personal information at risk to be stolen or compromised. Anytime you put your personal information online or out there to be exposed online, puts you at a higher risk of having your information compromised. And again, like I mentioned before, I do work in a fraud department, and I see this stuff every day, all day long. It's crazy. Online shoppers do not have the ability to inspect or try on the items that they're purchasing. So, sometimes or even sometimes you purchase something and you don't receive it, you get scammed. That's a big, a big thing with shopping on the internet. Online stores also can advertise free products, saying that this product is free, you're only going to be charged for shipping, and then later on, a month down the road, you see a $200 charge in your account. I also see this every day, working in the fraud department I work in. So I think these are some of the biggest things with online shopping, and these are the biggest some of the biggest cons with online shopping through the internet.
Banking online. Like online shopping, banking online is also convenient as we no longer have to drive to the bank. We can deposit that check online right from our mobile phone or even on the computer. We can look at our account summaries at any time to keep us better informed on what's going on. We can view all our transactions easily and quickly. We're also able to pay bills online, which has made things a lot easier with auto bill pay and the ability to pay your bills today instead of sending them a check or mailing in a check. And we can even trade online, and online trading has never been easier.
Cons of online banking. Despite every bank's great effort in keeping their website secure, nothing is foolproof, and so there's always that risk someone somewhere will hack into your systems and gain access to sensitive information. One may experience attempts of phishing. The other may experience presence of malicious software, account takeovers, and other security concerns. Also, people who belong to the older generation may find banking electronically more difficult as opposed to having face-to-face transactions. And some may also feel that they lose more of that one-on-one experience, personal experience that you can have from going into an actual branch. I do work in a fraud department currently, so I do see a lot of people experiencing fraud on their accounts, and I feel like anytime you put your personal information out there on the internet, you pose a huge risk for your information being compromised.
Social media and the news. News has never traveled faster. We can receive an up-to-date news from around the world in a matter of minutes after some major events. Social media has connected people from all around the world and keeps everyone updated with what's going on in our everyday lives. Social media is also a great tool for the entrepreneur. This tool allows people to promote their business easily. Social media is fun and entertaining. We use social media in the forms of Facebook and YouTube and Twitter. News channels use these social media outlets to give out their news. A lot of times you'll see it on Twitter or even Facebook. These different outlets have given consumers or just everybody the opportunity to pass and receive information at such a fast and rapid pace. We no longer have to sit around and wait for the 6 o'clock news to come on the TV or wait for the music on the radio to change over to the news or traffic. We can get that stuff a lot faster just through these outlets and using your smartphones.
Cons of social media. Social media tools like email, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, all these things have revolutionized the way human beings get information and communicate and interact with one another. Privacy issues can be a major con of all social media. A lot of people, put their whole life story out there on social media, from photos to posts being shared. Everyone can see this at all times. All of this can cause a concern, whether it's social sites owning your content after it being posted, becoming a target after sharing your geographical location online, or even getting in trouble at work after tweeting something inappropriate or posting something inappropriate. That could cost someone a job. So I do think that this can be a big con of social media. It's just people putting their lives and their information out there to where anyone in the world can see it at any time. Some people can become a target or a victim of cyberbullying. We see this every day, and it is a big issue on social media. Sometimes social media can, for some people, become a source of addiction. How often do you see someone look down at their phone? Or how often do you go somewhere and not see somebody on their phone, or their laptop, or their tablet? Social media can consume someone's life, and addiction to scrolling through your Facebook and Instagram and posting selfies. In a way, social media can be harmful to someone's mental state if there's not a balance between social media set in your normal life set in place.
Online library. This being probably the single most useful thing about the internet, especially when it comes to research and school and education. Being able to access information for research or even a school project or just because has never been easier. Google can answer a question in 40 hundredths of a second and give you over 300,000 options most of the time. The online library is a good way to verify that the information you have heard or read can be trusted. Using college libraries online or even Google Scholar is a great tool to know that the information you're receiving isn't false. Our summary. Through this PowerPoint, we have discovered how the internet works, its origin, and some of the advantages along with the disadvantages. And while there's a lot of useful information in here, we hope that the information provided to you will allow you to take advantage of all the endless possibilities the internet can provide without falling victim to a crime. Thank you.